Look, it ain't just P. Diddy that's in trouble with all of this, because he's in a world of trouble. He's in a world of trouble, but that's not what I'm thinking about.
Y'all are not ready for this one. The walls is closing in on Diddles, and new footage has just been leaked revealing the names of some of the biggest celebrities who were front and center at his infamous freak-off parties. From A-list actors to top music stars, these shocking revelations are blowing the lid off of Hollywood's best-kept secret. Exclusive video from inside Diddy's infamous freak-off parties is starting to surface, and y'all, it is not pretty. We're talking about some secret late-night events, A-listers, and some crazy after-hours behavior that ain't nobody wants to get out. But guess what? It's out now, baby.
Look, it ain't just P. Diddy that's in trouble with all of this, because he's in a world of trouble. He's in a world of trouble, but that's not what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about Hollywood being in a world of trouble. And if you're being honest, I ain't the only one thinking like that. So are y'all. Stephen A. Smith Show in the house, coming right at you right now. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the latest edition of the Stephen A. Smith Show, coming at you as I love to do at the very least 3 days a week over the digital airways of YouTube. As always, thank you to all of my followers and subscribers. We now eclipsed 790,000 subscribers on YouTube, eclipsing over more than 2.9 million downloads on iHeartRadio. Can't thank y'all for the love and support enough. Thank you. Keep it coming. I'm going to keep on coming. I want to get right into it. I know I brought up P. Diddy, and I've got to get into that, but there was a Monday Night Football game that came on last night between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Atlanta Falcons. I'll get to more of that a little bit later. Let me just say this real quick about the Monday Night Football game. Eagles blew the game. Saquon Barkley dropped the pass that would have given them a first down. Obviously, they would have been able to run out the clock. He dropped it. They kicked the field goal. It gives the Atlanta Falcons an opportunity to get the ball back down 6 points, 21-15, with under 2 minutes to go. And what do? Okay, the Eagles had held the 3-point lead with 1:56 left in the game. Okay, 6-point lead, but they had a lead. Okay, with less than 2 minutes left in the game, and let Kirk Cousins look like Joe Montana, and they go downfield and they handle their business. And he throws a pass off a great route by Drake London. Put a move on Darius Slade Jr. Got into the right corner of the end zone, caught the touchdown pass, boom, kicked the extra point. And ultimately, the Atlanta Falcons win the game 22-21. The Philadelphia Eagles blowing fourth quarter leads. That's something that's been happening as of recently. Over the last 11 games, they're like 2-9 under coach Nick Sirianni. That is not attractive. This is a team that I thought and still believe has a shot to challenge for the NFC crown, particularly with Saquon Barkley. They didn't have wide receiver A.J. Brown out there. We know this, but in the event that they did have him, your defense is still suspect. This cat Huff that was supposed to be an elite edge rusher for you, he hasn't gotten anything done for you getting him over from the Jets. You done let go of Hassan Reddick, okay, so he's not there to do some things for you. He's in the New York Jets. He's with the New York Jets, but he's not in uniform because he can't get to a contract agreement with the Jets. So you got a situation in Philadelphia right now where your defense, with him being gone, Reddick being gone, with Fletcher Cox being gone, and what have you, their defense doesn't look like it's looked over the last few years, and as a result, it's going to be hard to imagine the Philadelphia Eagles being formidable defensively. Offensively, I think they will be elite once A.J. Brown comes back. Nevertheless, that is not the case. That is a situation that is what it is, and what can you say? Now, let me move on because I don't really want to spend too much time today on football, not with what has happened. Sean P. Diddy Combs. That's the subject right now. The topic is serious. It's a federal case against Sean P. Diddy Combs. The bad boy entertainment mogul was arrested overnight at a Manhattan hotel and taken into custody by U.S. Homeland Security investigators. The investigators were acting on a sealed indictment filed by the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of New York. The 14-page indictment, which I have read, which was unsealed today, charges Diddy with sex trafficking and racketeering. The federal government has accused Diddy of directing a vast criminal enterprise that he used to assault and traffic women. Here's a section of the indictment that essentially lays out the broad case against Diddy. He's accused of, quote, creating a criminal enterprise whose members and associates engaged in and attempted to engage in, among other crimes, sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice, end quote. The indictment also alleges Diddy used force or threats of force to coerce women to engage with male sex workers. The indictment goes on to say those acts, which were called, quote, freak-offs, end quote, sometimes lasted days and were often recorded. Federal prosecutors say various recordings were seized during the raids on Diddy's home in Los Angeles, homes, not one home, homes, as in plural, in Los Angeles and Miami earlier this year. The government also alleges participants of the quote-unquote freak-offs were often given controlled substances like ketamine and ecstasy to keep victims, quote, obedient and compliant, end quote. Combs will appear in federal court today where he's expected to plead not guilty. Federal prosecutors laid out the case against Diddy during a press conference earlier today in New York City, during which prosecutors also said they want bail denied and they want Diddy to remain in jail until his trial. P. Diddy Combs is expected to plead not guilty, and his attorneys say he deserves to be released until the trial date. Diddy's wave of legal troubles was spurred by a bombshell lawsuit filed by ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura in November. The R&B singer accused the mogul of rape, sex trafficking, and physical abuse. The lawsuit was settled for an undisclosed amount a day after it was brought. He's in a world of trouble, y'all. My God, is he in a world of trouble. First of all, say some local police department. This is Homeland Security.
Sources say the footage reveals some of the biggest names in music, movies, and sports all partying it up at Diddy's events. Now, these stars thought that they were safe in the shadows, but now their freaky nights are coming to light. And trust me, the fallout's gonna be huge. First up, word on the street is that several chart-topping rappers were regulars at Diddy's freak-off parties. We're talking about names like Drake, who's been seen with Diddy for years, and even French Montana, who's been spotted at many of Diddy's big nights. And let's not forget about a few R&B legends who've been rolling with Diddy for decades. But it ain't just the music scene. There were some pretty big names from Hollywood too, and rumors are swirling that actors and athletes was also in on the action.
Homes raided in Los Angeles and Miami. Computers and laptops and iPads and phones and surveillance videos and stuff like that confiscated. They did that in May. You're talking about months later, and here they come with this indictment, and they're trying to make it so today, as we're taping this show, if prosecutors have their druthers, they're trying to make today his last day of freedom in his life. That's what they're trying to do. They want him behind bars today. Not next week, not next month, not when the trial begins and he's found guilty by a jury of his peers in their eyes. No. They want him in jail now.
But why's all this coming out now? Well, with Diddy's legal troubles piling up, especially with 113 charges against the man, things is starting to unravel. As more investigations happen and go down, insiders are leaking information left, right, and center, and it looking like some of Diddy's closest connections are being dragged into the mix. Now, the big question is, could these celebrities be nervous about their own involvement being exposed and potentially flip on Diddles?
Yeah, that's crazy. But the feds, they also revealed that they got photos and videos of Diddy freak-offs.
When they did that raid, you understand, what they did was prior to the raid, they reviewed that civil lawsuit. And that civil lawsuit told, Cassie's civil lawsuit was LeRod had already did it. LeRod hadn't did his yet, did he? Did LeRod do his lawsuit before the raid or after the raid?
Oh, before.
Yeah, so what they did was they reviewed both of those civil lawsuits and found that there was some criminal activity in those lawsuits. We spoke that on Art of Dialogue. We spoke about that on your show. I said if they really wanted him, all they had to do was review those civil lawsuits. And once they find the criminal activity in those, they could bring him in. Now, did the Federal Bureau of Investigation in Miami do it? No, they didn't. Did California do it? No, they did not. The Southern District of New York, they took it upon themselves and put on that raid and everything based on the information they found in Cassie lawsuit and the information they found in Little Rod lawsuit. But all this is bigger than Diddy. It's bigger than Diddy, bro. Because you know who else they was doing investigation on during that whole time period? It was the mayor and the politicians in New York City. They turn around and give him the key to the city. All the mayor people that he brought on here in New York City are all resigning. They all resigning. People ain't gonna tie this together, but if you look at it, you have to say, because of Mayor Adams and his relationship with Diddy, it brought on the Southern District of New York to start investigating Diddy on civil lawsuits that was put against him. Because the feds is going after all these politicians in New York City.
Yeah, the feds revealed that, anybody that, participated in any, criminal behavior at his freak offs, they're going to pursue.
Listen here. The mayor here take like 15 spoons of sugar in his coffee. So it's all a possibility.
Do you think there's any celebrities on them tapes?
Bro, he gave celebrity parties. So what you think? I think they're not telling the whole truth, is that because of the situation in Miami and the situation in California, and they closed the clubs like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. or something like that, that Justin and Christian was bringing big vans of girls and people back to the mansion and giving parties and stuff like that. And a lot of those stuff were their parties. A lot of that shit was their parties. They wasn't always Puff parties. It was his son's parties.
Good point. They said some of these freak-offs will last for days.
That's where they're going to get him on the sex trafficking thing. Especially like if he was traveling and doing it. That's where the sex trafficking come at. That you hiring sex workers to come and have sex with your girl? That's crazy. That's some Hollywood shit that I don't even know, bro. That's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. But they also claiming that, Diddy, he'll give ecstasy to his victims to keep them obedient.
Then they have to bring those witnesses in there. That's going to be something hard to prove. Unless Lil Rob or Cassie state that was something that happened. That's how the prosecutor's going to prove that.
With all the heat surrounding Diddy, it's only a matter of time before more names start getting exposed. Now the question is, who's going to be brave enough to step forward and who's about to run for cover? You know what's even crazier is that despite all this leaked footage, Hollywood is staying silent. A lot of celebrities who parted with Diddy are just keeping their lips sealed, probably hoping that they ain't gonna get called out next. But trust me, y'all, with the FBI digging deeper into Diddy's past, that footage is only the beginning. And with that radio silence from Hollywood A-listers, it makes you wonder what's really going on behind the scenes. But what do y'all think is going down? And who do you suspect was at Diddy's parties and should be brought down next? Make sure you let us know what you think in the comments section down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and keep it locked here for more Diddy News videos.